Why do you always make such horrible decisions in horror movies? It's not cool to split up.
We don't. It's the writers of horror movies that decide what people do in that movie, not the white people who play the characters.
Why do you freak out when black people are cast to play white fictional characters?
How would you feel if we cast black characters as white actors? Like, what if Red from The Shawshank Redemption was played by Tom Hanks? Bet you wouldn't like that.
What's the big deal if Idris Elba plays James Bond? I would go see it twice.
Just because you would go see it twice, that doesn't mean everyone else is going to like it.
Why is a big butt and big lips considered attractive on a white woman, but they're unattractive on a black woman?
I have never met a person who said that in real life.
Do y'all really think Miley is the one who created twerking? Really?
Okay, I get that this is a joke, but it's never been funny.
Why am I supposed to teach you how to twerk? I don't know how to twerk.
No one in their right mind would ever ask you how to twerk.
Why is it that white people always act as though they have discovered a new trend when people of color have been doing it for virtually years?
Maybe it's because you don't tell people about something when you find it. So when white people do find it, they consider it a new thing to them because, well, it is a new thing for them.
Why is it when a black woman wears her hair natural, it's seen as inappropriate, but when a white woman does, it's praised?
There has never been a moment in history where a black woman is called inappropriate for wearing her hair naturally by the same person who praised a white person for doing it. Also, white people are not praised for wearing their hair naturally. That's just something you made up to get your point across.
This is the hair that I was born with, so you wearing it as a trend is not cute.
You should really take that as a compliment, because they're saying that they like your hair. Also, if someone born with brown hair dyes it blonde, blonde people don't make a big deal out of it, so you shouldn't either.
Like, can you appropriate my student loans? Can you take that off my hands?
Why is it that white crime is seen as an isolated incident, but black crime is a representation of my entire community?
It's probably because black crime is more common in America, even though there's a much smaller population of black people than white people.
When we see a story on TV about a white serial killer, I don't automatically assume that all white people must be serial killers too.
That's probably because it's way more common to see a black assailant than a white one. So when you see 5 black criminals on TV and 1 white one, you will think there are a lot more black criminals.
Why does talking about race make you feel so uncomfortable?
Is it because you think that you'll be perceived as racist if you talk about race?
If someone doesn't want to talk to you about something, don't make them talk to you about it. And most of the time we do talk about race, we will be accused of being racist.
You don't really believe that racism is over because we have a black president, do you?
No one with a brainstem thinks that.
Why is it so easy for you to notice when there are no white people around, but you hardly ever notice when there are no black people around?
That's probably because there's such a small population of black people in this country that it's much less likely for that to happen.
Why is your goal to be colorblind?
There's so many different types of people in the world, yet you can't see color?
If you don't see someone as a white person or a black person, but rather as a person, you won't be racist towards that person.
Why do you want to say the N-word so badly?
If someone really wanted to say it, then they would just say it.
If I don't use it, what makes you think you can?
Probably because it's a word and you don't have a monopoly on words.
Why do you always want to touch our hair?
People like touching things. It's an evolutionary fact that people touch things that they aren't familiar with.
Who told you it was okay to touch people without their permission?
If they just asked you and you said yes, then that means they have your permission.
Why do you feel like having one black friend makes you a cultural expert or not a racist?
Because racist people don't have black friends.
Is your only black friend comfortable with being the reason why you can't be racist?
Yes, he is. You know why? Because we're friends.
By that logic, then I'm not racist. I have a ton of white friends.
That's true.
Why do you feel comfortable cursing at your parents?
I don't curse at my parents.
Why do you kiss your dogs on the mouth?
I personally don't kiss my dog at all.
How come you can't pronounce black names like Quvenzhané, but can say names like Schwarzenegger, Galifianakis, and LaBeouf just fine?
That's because there aren't any famous people named Quvenzhané. But Zach Galifianakis, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Shia LaBeouf are famous people. And if you saw how I spelled those names, you would not think that anymore.
Why do you feel like all lions' lives matter, but black lives don't?
Why is a lion's life in Africa more important than the lives of black people here in America? What did Simba ever do for you?
I get it. Lion King was an awesome movie, but so was Selma, and so was Malcolm X.
If you can show me one person who said lions' lives matter, black lives don't, then I will quit YouTube.
Why is it so hard for you to acknowledge your privilege?
People who want you to check your privilege are privileged themselves. You will never go to a starving village and have a dying child say that you should check your privilege.
How does it feel to not be the spokesperson for your entire race at any given time?
Because you are asking these questions in such a way that you're talking to one person, that means that the person watching the video currently is the spokesperson for their race.
Must be nice.
That little must be nice at the end was really the icing on the cake. You know what's really nice? Having food, water, clothing, a home, and all other things you have in the first world. Well, now that this hell is over, I'm gonna go hunting for lions because lions' lives don't matter. Remember, kids, my name is CJ. I hate the internet, and good night.